All right, well, here we are. Day
Welcome.
one. Actually, not day one, but sort of day one for us, if you consider us putting our first piece of content together that we've actually put together. So this is exciting.
Yeah, I'm stoked to be here.
Yeah.
Appreciate setting everything up and getting us together.
So we got a brand new journey. So we're sharing our journey with everybody on exactly where we're going and what we're doing, the how and the why we're here, which is really exciting. It's really cool because we met at a place that really you wouldn't think to meet, but actually like-minded people really do meet in a special place like that in the gym.
Oh, I love it. I loved it. When you came over and you're like, I'm excited, Spring Bear's coming. I was like, no way, this guy hunts? Like, awesome, we're going to be buds. And yeah, it was a great start to a wicked relationship. And I'm very excited to be here and talk about Let's Go Guided.
Yeah.
Kind of what the vision is. But let's jump into our stories a little bit first, give everybody a little insight into who we are. So how'd you get into hunting, Colin?
So I think goes with, a lot of us, the majority of us. This has been a traditional thing that was brought up through our families. At least for my part, that's where it was. I remember being a kid, the most exciting time was like the night before. And I say the night before because that's when Dad said, we're going to go hunting tomorrow. And typically that's where the high energy starts when you're a kid. It's like, oh man, how am I going to sleep tonight? How am I going to wake up? And I remember that excitement, and that excitement just kept building and building and building as to when are we going again? When are we going again? And I remember you don't sleep those first few nights.
Yeah.
Even still, you can't fall asleep because you're so excited to go out into Mother Nature and go out into the wild. And, you're chasing those animals and you're looking to put food on the table and you're looking for the challenge and the hunt. I mean, it's man. Man was, created to hunt.
Yes.
That's what we were born to do. So I just remember that.
So what were those first hunts? What were you guys out chasing? Chasing deer? Or?
Yeah, it was even just going to cut firewood, and we were going to go for a drive around and look for a deer.
Yeah.
And you got to go shoot some grouse.
There you go.
And I mean, as a young kid, that's a highlight.
That's it.
Yeah. And then, you'd cut some firewood and you'd have a fire for lunch and you'd be cooking some sandwiches over the fire or the grilled cheese sandwiches and I just remember that whole experience of being in the outdoor for the whole day was just like, I could live the very first days with you vividly every step of the way. I remember the pickup truck we were in, the firewood. I remember exactly where we went.
Yeah.
The smells, the feel. I remember shooting grouse the first time with the old Cooey 22.
Yeah.
I remember all those things from a kid, and then the in between stuff I don't fully remember. But that's where it all began. Is as a young kid, that excitement that hey, Dad's gonna take me hunting.
Yeah.
It's really gonna happen now. I'm old enough to go. So that's where it all began, and it just stretched out from there. How about you guys?
Do you want to take it?
Yeah, for me, I was in the outdoors a lot when I was younger, but not hunting until probably about a decade ago. I started getting more serious into hunting. When we moved to BC, it was deer that we went for first. And yeah, you had gone hunting a lot in Alberta. But it wasn't really my thing, Alberta hunting. So when we moved to BC, it was just a mixture of the love of the outdoors and just wanting to experience more what it was like to start getting our own meat, bringing our own meat home. I think that's one of the things that started drawing me into hunting a lot more. Just that feeling that I wanted to...
Such a good reason to hunt.
...know where my meat was coming from.
Yeah.
With the stuff that's in the store now, it's just, it's becoming more of a reason to be out there doing that.
Do you sleep at night when you're going hunting the next day?
Yes. Yes, I do. I sleep like a baby at home and in the outdoors, which is maybe a little bit different for some people, but... Yeah, I sleep pretty sound.
Yeah, my story, was similar to you, Colin. Like, I grew up doing it with Dad, right?
Yeah.
I remember being little and one of the first memories of the outdoors. My dad and my uncle brought a buck home and hung it in the garage, and I went out as a kid and I was just like, oh my God, they went and did what? Like, that's so cool. I want to go with them.
Yeah.
And then, started similar, walking around with a little 22, plinking grouse, and moved into big game hunting a little later. As we got married, moved to BC, hunting fell off for a couple years. I was using my dad's gear and all that stuff and didn't have my own. Funds were tight. But after we got a little bit more funds, started getting back into it and just totally fell in love with it. Had the opportunity to do a guided elk hunt with my dad, and that was an absolute game changer. I was hooked so hard on the mountains. A prairie boy moving to BC. It was in BC, yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, up north. And totally changed my perspective on hunting. It was a steep learning curve coming from hunting whitetails in an oat field to the mountains.
I bet.
Not knowing how the heck to hunt it. Took a number of years, but we got it sort of kind of figured out. Certain pockets anyways. But yeah, it's my favorite thing in the world to do. I think about it daily, and I'm real excited to be here sitting, talking hunting, and can't wait to talk to more people.
Yeah, totally, right? Like, it's like, I love my own program of, planning my hunts with my friends and different guys, and planning our fly-in drop-offs and planning those extreme mountain hunts. And, I love doing all that stuff, but I also love going guided.
Yeah.
Where it's like, some of the equation is removed and you're just like, you're going to show up and here we go. And I'm excited to go with somebody that is a professional and somebody that's really gonna, work for us and with us and make sure that we're on that really exciting journey that's, whether you get an animal or not, it's the cherry on the cake, but the journey is like a complete success, and it's gonna have its challenges, and you got mother and nature and weather and like all these things happening, but you've got a guide and you've got somebody that's actually gonna take you and, make sure that you're looked after. I guess if you took it on the responsibility level of being 100% responsible, when you plan that hunt with your friends, or you're the one that's in charge of planning this hunt, you're down to maybe 80% now. You can kind of slack off a little bit, and somebody else has got to look after that 20%. Like, we're going to be okay. Shelter's planned, food's planned. You're a guest, and you're getting to go on this really cool hunt. And I mean, it's an amazing experience. Going with outfitters
Can be.
Yeah, can be absolutely.
Right? And this is kind of where I think we're gonna have such a fun time talking to so many different guys and really getting under the hood of what they're about and what drives their operation forward, right? I think as you start trying to book guided hunts, at least this was my experience, was I found that it was challenging to really understand what you're getting yourself into. When I went to book guided hunts, I found that most of the outfitters were saying the same thing, and I was getting the same feelings out of them.
Yeah.
But I heard a couple different outfitters on other podcasts, and I felt like I knew who they were better. I felt like I got a better sense of who the outfit was, who the operators were, and that, funny enough, we had a little bit of a connection afterwards, right? So I'm excited to be able to bring that forward and give other people that opportunity to really get to know the outfitters and what's driving them in their business.
Yeah, that's what gets me excited when we first got together and talked about this. And I mean, this is really your guys' brainchild, and you invited me in on this journey, which I'm really happy to be a part of. It really rang some bells, as though the defining moment between knowing, like, what does your outfitters run like? What do they talk like? What's their culture like? What do they emanate? And it's like, you really want to make sure that you find that happy fit, because you're investing a lot of financial capital into it. This is your only hunt that you might be able to do, some people. And I mean, I've been guided many times now, and there's some hunts that I wish I knew more before I went on them.
Right. Yeah.
And it wasn't as, typically thought it was meant to be. And I hadn't met the outfitter before I actually went on the hunt. And I think that's going to make a really big difference to really help pull the hunting community together. Is what we're going to place in front of them here, an opportunity to really meet that outfitter, or what that outfitter's culture is going to be like and what they're like. You get to match that and remove some of the equation and remove your risk and make that better decision sooner. And I think there's a lot of hunters that look at this and go, I'm not going to go guided because I don't know who it is or what it's about. And that was mine when I first started hunting. Is I wasn't going to go with an outfitter because there was a face and maybe a picture, but more it was just an outfit. And that's what made a difference for me, is when I saw somebody on a podcast, and it wasn't even a podcast, it was a little 30-second clip. And I was like, I would go hunting with that person or their outfit.
Yeah, they
the
seem good.
The feeling was there, and I got that feeling across, and it was like, okay, that was selling. And it was very telling and selling at the same time. And that stuck with me. And I only really pulled that back when we started going down this journey here together. And I think what we've got here is a really cool platform that's going to make a big difference for both communities. You know, the ones that need to go guided or want to go guided, and the ones that guide to share their message and their story on the place.
You touch on something I think is important, is want to go guided and need to go guided. There's so many different crazy cool hunts in BC that you can do as a resident that we're blessed to do, but not everywhere is like that. Right? And if we want to go hunt, you know, Argentina, or we want to go hunt Africa, or we want to go hunt in Asia or Russia or something, we can't just go buy a tag and go. Right? We're going to have to book with an outfitter. We're going to have to find that right person to take us, and we can do all the due diligence we want and speak to everybody we want. But if we can help people remove risk and find outfitters that are going to fit best with their needs, man, that's what it's about. And we're going to have some awesome people on. We've got a lot of cool outfits queued up right now.
So true.
To talk to and to speak with. Do you have anybody or any kinds of hunts that you're excited about, Linz?
Oh man, honestly, I'm really excited to hear all the different stories from the outfitters. For me, I'm not as experienced a hunter as you guys, so I think there's so much more for me to learn, and it's going to be really cool to hear some good stories and get the wisdom from the outfitters. And I have so many more hunts that I think I want to go on, and so many more animals I don't know about, so I'm excited to learn about all the different kinds of guided hunts that I can go on. So yeah,
there's some cool experiences. I'm itching. Argentina, I went guided last year, and I'm excited to go back again. And I tell you what, that place, it was really cool because it was more like the full experience, and the full experience of, like, you know, harvesting, processing, and then cooking. And that whole package came together, because wherever I'm going guided, that's what I like to do, is to have that full experience. You're there to hunt, but you're there to eat and cook and learn how to cook a different traditional way in another country. And there's so much more to bring home than just the hunt. It's that full encompassing experience, right?
Well, nobody always does it the same, right? We all have our different ways of doing things and different traditions. It makes me think back to, was it this year or last year? We were successful on a bear hunt, and we were cleaning the bear, and the way I gutted it was very different than the way that my friend had ever seen it. And he's been on lots of hunts too, and he's like, oh, why'd you do it that way? I said, I don't know, that's just how I was shown how to do it. And I figured that's the way it was done. He goes, oh, okay, because we do it this way. And it was just cool to see that even as something as simple as a bear, there's different ways of doing it. And so when you can immerse yourself in a different culture, in a different place, in a different country, on a different continent, and learn those different traditions, that's so cool, so special, such a neat takeaway.
Yeah, we have a really cool thing coming together. You know, Let's Go Guided is going to be an amazing platform to really celebrate what the outfitters are and what they have, their traditions and the reasons behind it, and the hunting community to embrace that and go, I like that person, I'm going with you, you know, and we're going to really help people get around the mistakes. You're going to really help remove like pricing. It's going to be more of an individual choice because that's a fit and you feel it.
Yes.
Because when people talk, that's the energy you feel. And I'm excited we're going to host that positivity in the hunting community.
That's beauty.
Yeah.
I'm stoked too. Before we wrap it up, let me put you on the spot. Share with us one of your favorite stories from when you went guided. If you can pick a favorite
Man,
or most memorable.
I would say last year, 2 years ago, Argentina,
Okay.
for sure. Argentina has to be my coolest place that I've gone, or for outfitting experience.
And what were you hunting there?
We were hunting axis deer and black bucks.
Okay.
And it turned out they didn't have any black bucks, so then we got to hunt wild water buffalo.
Cool.
So, and then we got, you know, hogs put on top of that, and I got to eat it all. It was exciting. And the hunt was like really cool because these guys work so hard. Like, it was like morning and night, literally. You're just like dawn till dusk going on, and you are nonstop. They worked hard. Like that guide, you know, he became a good friend, and we're gonna hunt again, or we're gonna hunt together again in the next 12 months.
Nice.
And I'm really excited to share that experience with him. He was a really good cook too, by the way.
Hey, that helps.
Right?
Yeah.
And but what's cool is we had so many different ways to cook the meat, and hunting, and when we're harvesting animals, which is meat. And Argentina, which was really founding for me, they cook some of the best meat in the world. And you know, they have a great Malbec wine, and they have all this wild game that's cooked on open fire. And typically all they use is salt and pepper, so you're really getting to experience the meat.
Right.
And for me, that was really foundational in what I do when I booked. So I booked with an outfitter that I had no idea. It was off a recommendation from an outfitter friend of mine in the US. And he said, go with these guys, that's who I'd recommend. And then it turned into, we get the language barrier. I speak a little bit of Spanish, it's broken. But I had a guide who spoke pretty good English. So we got on just really, really well. And that really enhanced the experience as well too. Because I got to learn more Spanish while I was there, and I got to speak my home language. But man, what an experience. It was super, super cool.
That's
amazing. We're going to go Argentina.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, we're going to do that.
Big time.
All right, so we're at that point now. We've launched. The website's up, the Instagram's up. You know, things are rolling. The first interviews are done. We've really come together as a team to really launch this beautiful site that's going to make a difference in this community. How does everybody get a hold of us?
Yeah, so if you're interested in hearing more about this, please like, follow, and subscribe. We are on Instagram, Let's Go Guided _ at Let's Go Guided _
Yeah.
On Facebook, Let's Go Guided, and we've got our website rolling as well, www.letsgoguided.com. Please come and follow the journey.
Yeah. And guys, we're excited to get this going. We need your help. Like Lindsay said, please like, subscribe, follow along with us. If you know some outfitters that you want to have their stories told on the platform, if you want to hear from them, reach out, let us know. Reach out, let them know. And really looking forward to all the episodes in the future here.
Yeah, we're excited to share everybody's journey. You know, come along with us. Let's go guided.
Let's Go Guided.